Um, there we go. My avatar is like a little guy with a shield fighting a troll. That doesn't seem right.
Definitely gonna happen in this game.
That doesn't seem right.
So many guys with shields fighting trolls.
Do I have like a... I'll just use my Tumblr profile pic. The little guy from Garden of Earthly Delights. Oh no! Oh, no, there it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There he is.
Ah!
Jack, the only problem with the time we've chosen to do this is that we are competing directly with the Oscars.
We are
I don't know
better
if
than
anyone
the
actually
Oscars.
watches the Oscars.
Who watches the Oscars?
I got invited to an Oscars watch party from a friend, which was very sweet, and I would have gone if I had not been doing this. But also, I can't remember. I think the last time I watched the Oscars was when Moonlight won, and there was that whole debacle about it.
They're doing the
Which would have
Oscars
been,
again?
what,
Yeah, they do it every year,
2016?
Grace. They do it every year. I'm gonna tweet that we're live.
Excellent.
Um, hey! Hey, Coyote. And how...
Hello. I've pulled up Twitch chat on my phone. I will not keep it up when I'm actually running the game, but while people are
Yeah.
they're straggling in, um, I'll say hi to people and whatnot.
Exciting.
Roman just sent me a picture of Bruce and Clark asleep with their paws crossed over one another's.
Oh!
Those cats are such little brothers. It kills me. They are always sleeping curled up next to one another.
I'm gonna put my phone on silent and really hope that the person who's supposed to call me today doesn't do it in the next couple of hours.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Cats. Bruce and Clark. Not...
Yes, Bruce and Clark are Roman's pet cats.
Yeah, not, actual Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent.
Not
Though
real
they
human
would do
men.
that.
They would do that.
Where is everybody?
Watching the Oscars, I'm telling you.
Maybe. Only thing worth watching is the red carpet, but... Because otherwise it's just a lot of wank. You know?
Yeah. That's how award shows are, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
This one more than most.
Shall we do our introductions and
Yeah.
yeah.
And?
Sorry, I just got distracted because somebody just sent me a message on Facebook being like, the red carpets are actually a snooze this year, except for Janelle Monáe, who is a babe.
That sounds right.
Okay, I've turned my iPad around so that I can't see the notifications from that anymore.
We're so professional.
We are. This is definitely my job. Anyway, everybody here knows me, I think. So why don't you introduce yourself and plug your stuff?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Hi, everybody. I'm Christine. I'm very, very excited to, as promised on Jack's charity stream, be running a creepy horror game for Jack. What am I? I'm a bunch of things. Primarily, I am the host, producer, and GM of the actual play podcast, The Unexplored Places, a show about exploring weird worlds and making bold choices. We've played this game, Trophy Dark, a number of times over on The Unexplored Places. So if you don't listen to the show already and you like what you hear tonight, please go check out my show. You can find us on Twitter at unexploredcast or on Tumblr at unexploredcast.tumblr.com. We're currently 3 episodes into a brand new season, so it's a great time to hop in. We're playing a weird Western set on a recently colonized planet in space that is full of demons and monsters and all sorts of that kind of good stuff. I also have in the past, I'm not currently, but have in the past, designed some games. You can find those at cprevas.itch.io. And I'm also doing a PhD. So if you're interested in academia on gender, queerness, horror, digital media, literature, etc., the best place to find that stuff is cprevas on Twitter. I've got a very cool film essay coming out soon, and I've got an academic article coming out in the near-ish future.
Hell yeah. Um, Before we really get started, hello to those who just joined in the chat, Ty and Wind. Um, oh no.
Oh
Sorry
no!
to Coyote's cousin.
I'm so sorry.
um, yeah. Before we properly dive in, hi, and also, just some content notes up front. This is a horror game. It'll be spooky.
Mm-hmm.
I will be spooked.
Mm-hmm.
I am being spooked on purpose, and that's fun. Don't worry about me, even if I'm being like, oh no, this is the worst, because it's not. I'm having the time of my life. Um, if I don't know exactly if there are specific content notes we should.
I can give a few general ones. I don't know exactly what will come up, so these are not promises or guarantees so much as they are general guidelines. I imagine some likely content notes will be warnings for general violence, death, claustrophobia, specifically of the like cave-in type variety or the being in small tunnels type variety. Um, and if just a lot of stuff about trains, as you can see from our so content warning trains is what I'm going to say. This will not be quite as grim as some of the horror trophy dark games I've done in the past, specifically for this reason. I don't want to get too over the top with things that I can't warn for ahead of time. So it will be dark and it will be horror, but it won't be quite on the level of something where I can provide like written content notes and timestamps.
Yep, that's perfect.
And if at any point, Jack, you do want to stop, we have our Discord chat, so you can X-card me in there if it comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. I also would like to say that this will be available as a VOD on Twitch immediately after the stream. And it will be popped up on YouTube later in the week. So if there's anything that comes up that we haven't already warned for, I'll pop those in the YouTube video description. So if you want to just skip out and not listen until there's full content warnings, you can do that. Oh yeah, that's the point. I say listen because this is going to be mostly an audio experience. Even though I am going to be pulling really good faces. Christine doesn't like being on camera, and so I'm not being on camera as well because it seemed weird to have my face and not theirs. Even if that would be kind of funny.
My deepest apologies for depriving you of what I'm sure will be some excellent facial expressions from Jack. But I'm an audio bitch.
Yeah, and like it is much easier to do audio only. Last note, we won't be able to react much to what's happening in chat. Um, Christine's not looking at chat at all, and I might do the same once we get started. Um, but I think I will. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that.
We'll play
Um,
it by ear. We'll see what happens.
Christine of duty. We have a couple of mods in chat, so I'm gonna trust them to monitor the chat if I do have to close it out. Other than that, I think that's probably everything. And we are 10 minutes in, so probably the folks who are gonna be here on time are here.
I think so.
And everybody else can just join us whenever they're ready. So, shall we get started?
Let's get started. Sorry, accidentally clicked deafen. I'm going to start briefly with a little bit of an overview of what Trophy Dark is for anybody who's listening who's not familiar with the game. I think that'll also help do a little bit of tone setting and setting people's expectations for the kind of content that will be in the game as well. So, Trophy Dark is a dark fantasy horror game by Jesse Ross. And to just read the overview from the book here, Trophy Dark is a collaborative storytelling game about a group of treasure hunters on a doomed expedition into a forest that doesn't want them there. The game tells the story of the physical and mental descent of the treasure hunters as they move deeper and deeper into the dangerous forest. Their journey will ultimately bring them to ancient ruins that hold the treasure they seek and the monstrous entities which now dwell there. This is not, however, a hopeful story of brave and daring adventurers slaying dragons and dragging bags of gold with them back to town. This is a horror story of entitled pillagers meeting tragic ends. It is very likely that all the treasure hunters will die, or at best, be permanently scarred and haunted by the expedition. So that's the general idea for Trophy Dark. Obviously, as you can see from both our title and our lovely image here that Jack has provided for us, we're not exactly in a forest, nor are we fantasy explorers, unless you would call the New York City subway system a forest, and a couple of New York City residents fantasy treasure hunters. But I think it's close enough.
I could make some cases.
Having spent over an hour on the New York City subway system just today, I could also make some cases. But to begin, I'm going to set the scene a little bit with the sort of pitch that I gave you, Jack, for the scenario that you find yourself in.
Ooh, yes, please. This one was like, Christine sent me like a list of like 6 options, and I read this one and I was like, that one, and then I read the others just in case, but it was like that one.
The others I'll probably write and run at some point in time because they were all very fun, but I was excited you picked this one because I was feeling really, really into it. So, urban legend tells of an abandoned tunnel deep somewhere in the New York City subway system that leads to a ghost station that few, if any, have ever explored. While ghost stations, abandoned stations either long closed to the public or never opened in the first place, are plentiful in a subway system as sprawling as the MTA, this one is different. It is, if the rumors are true, a ghost station, a portal of some kind to the afterlife, teeming with the roaming spirits of the undead, waiting their turn to board a train and never return. You saw the call on an urban exploration subreddit, a claim from someone by the username GhostStation217 that they had finally identified the right tunnel to get into the ghost station, somewhere not far from 96th Street. They had no evidence except for a blurry picture of the station's blue-tiled walls, but claimed that they'd marked the way there and back. And for your own reasons, which we'll talk about momentarily what those are, you found yourself tempted to believe them. It isn't safe to do this kind of exploration alone, so the three of you from the subreddit, agreed to meet up, supplies in hand, and see if the claim was correct and if you could find your way to the ghost station in question. the three of you are meeting up at a sort of above ground access staircase into the subway system at around somewhere between 96th and 103rd. You've been given instructions as to where to meet. But as the sun is beginning to set over Central Park West, Jack, who do we see walking along the sidewalk towards this above ground subway access?
Yeah, so Vera Mack is a sort of stocky, uh, sort of medium tall young woman who is kind of like grungy looking. Very like practical black jeans that you figure she might wear under an apron for work. Um, Gauges in her ears. Dark eyeliner that she probably applied 3 days ago. Um, she's got like an undercut on one side, and then her hair is sort of like not short, but not anything else either on the over the rest of her head, and it's kind of like greasy. Um, she's got like a canvas satchel, that used to be blue but is now grey, and is wearing like a black hoodie over a black t-shirt with a design on it that is clearly intended to look like a logo but is
Mm.
nonsense. Like you buy from like Target, but not like a brand collaboration. Just like,
Right, just a generic Target
yeah.
graphic. Yeah,
Um, yeah, sensible black shoes.
great. Do you want to tell us your occupation and your background and the skills that you get for having both of those?
Yeah, so my occupation is service worker, and from those I get. Where are my skills? Where did they go?
They're hiding. Spooky.
I input them, but now I can't find them. Oh, it's in my occupation and background section. Well, that's annoying because occupation and background I can't fill out. Anyway, my my occupation is service worker, and from that I get vigilance, insight, and communication. And my background is uh dilettante historian, which I get urban legends from. Um,
Excellent.
and did you want my drive as well?
Yeah, go ahead and give us your drive as well.
And my drive is to board the train and see where it takes me. So I've clearly heard legend that there are trains that stop at this ghost station and go on a route of their own. And I think Vera's very much, well, anywhere but here is good, so.
All right. So you are approaching, like I said, this above ground subway entrance. Actually, I can show us what it looks like.
Mm.
It's sort of a little hut along the side of Central Park. Um, Little stone building, and inside of it, you can see sort of like the same incandescent bulb lights that line the subway tunnels. You can see a sort of rickety metal staircase headed downwards. As you approach, the door has a lock on it. It's also covered and it's got a big danger, don't enter sign, as well as a bunch of stickers and some graffiti here. You were the second person to arrive of your party of three. The first person is standing next to the doorway, holding a notepad, backpack over their back, headlamp over their head, sort of anxiously scrawling down some notes, looking over what look like some old subway maps. And as you approach and sort of slow to a stop, they look up and they say, "Oh, you're. Uh, what's your name?"
Vera.
Vera, yes, okay, great. Vera, hi, it's me. I'm Darshana.
Hi.
Um, we talked on Reddit, yeah?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Excellent. I think we're waiting for one more. Um,
Sure.
sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. Um,
First one?
yeah, it is not yours, it sounds like.
Yeah. First time in the subway, but like breaking into, you know, abandoned buildings is breaking
Right,
into
yeah,
abandoned buildings, you know?
sure. That's the part I haven't done. You can see now that you're like close enough to her to see she's wearing a Columbia University sweatshirt. She's got like her like Muji notebook and pen. Clearly a like college backpack, right?
Yeah.
She's got a pair of sort of round glasses perched on her nose. Her hair is pulled back into a sort of messy bun. Um, and she seems nervous. Is definitely the vibe you get from her here.
Yeah.
Um, nervous but prepared, I think.
I think I'm gonna
Um,
just sort of go, you look like you have better things to be doing.
oh, I'm. I mean, technically speaking, yes. Um, I should be working on my dissertation, but the thing is that I'm in urban planning at GSAP, and I'm working on my project's actually about the New York subway system. And so when I saw this, I figured it would be a real boost to my research to figure out if this thing is real or not, right? Um,
Uh-huh.
I mean, people write about the subway all the time. It's like half of what people write about, but y- you know, this would be you got to do something new, right? And this seems I mean, no one's writing about this kind of stuff.
They let you write about ghosts in urban planning?
If I do it well enough, they'll let me write about almost anything.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I didn't go to college.
Sure. And she like opens her mouth to keep talking. And you hear, she's cut off by another voice coming up behind you. Um, and this voice is actually, it sounds at first like someone who is talking on the phone, until you realize that the person who is walking up to you appears to be holding, like, live streaming from her phone.
Oh, Jesus.
Um, so I think this is it, guys. I think this is the entrance to the subway tunnel. So we're going in. Oh, these are the people that I'm going in with. Anyway, let me get right back to you all. And she presses a button to like pause her recording. And the woman who walks up to you, she's probably, I want to say, early 20s. She looks like if Zoe Kravitz was like normal person hot and not celebrity hot. Um, she's she's wearing like Lululemon leggings
Straight hot
and
or hot hot?
mm, ambiguous.
Oh, that's
Hard to
dangerous.
tell. Hard to tell. I mean, Zoe Kravitz is definitely hot and not straight hot, but this is a little more borderline, I think.
Yeah.
And she holds her hand out to shake yours, and she says, "Hi, I'm Selena. You're Vera and Darshana, right?"
Yeah, I didn't consent to being on camera.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I will. You're not yet, and I will make sure to keep the camera pointed away from you.
All right.
Does that work?
Sure.
Okay, what about you? And Darshan is like, I'd prefer not if that's okay. And she's like, sounds good. It'll just be me then. That's fine. So are we gonna do this thing? How do we get in? And she like looks at the lock on the door, and this is like a metal door. It's a little rusty. It's a little beat up. Um, it it looks like the kind of door that would give you tetanus if you weren't careful. But it's not super sturdy, right? Um, And if you're looking at the picture on the roll page, these sort of like what look like windows are like grates, basically metal grates. There's no glass or plastic or anything blocking it off. It's just this metal opening.
Okay.
What do you do?
I say, there's no way either of you know how to pick a lock, is there?
No.
Yep.
Do you?
Uh, I have a better idea of it than either of you. I think just like, I'm just like, you know what? I've at least seen people do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I will try. I like the idea that I've got like some tools, but I've only ever used them while like copying a YouTube video.
Right, sure. It's the first real world application of your lockpicking skills.
Yeah.
All right, well, this sounds like it's going to be our first roll, so let me explain here how rolling works. When you attempt a risky task, you say what you hope will happen, and then you ask the GM what could possibly go wrong. Then you'll gather your dice according to a set of rules. You'll build a dice pool, and then sort of Forged in the Dark style, on a 1 to 3, you fail and things get worse. On a 4 to 5, you succeed, but there's a complication. And on a 6, you succeed. We'll talk about how to add those dice as we go through them. But to begin with, say what you hope will happen and ask the GM what could possibly go wrong.
I hope the door opens
Sure, yeah.
quietly.
Ooh, quietly, that's important. What could go wrong? Cop could notice you, for sure. Could make a lot of noise. Um, like I said, this door is kind of rusty and beat up. You could potentially injure yourself here if you weren't careful. Um,
Okay. My skills
so,
do not include
yes,
lockpicking, and I feel like that was one of the skills I could have gotten.
I
Um,
think it was.
but I would like to tell. I've forgotten her name.
Which one?
The
The grad student or the Instagram
streamer,
micro
the
celebrity?
influencer,
Selena.
Selena. Can I tell Selena if I get caught by the cops, your video is over? Um, so that she has incentive to defend me.
Yeah, for sure. She's like, "Oh, don't worry, I've got your back."
um, does that count as using my communication or vigilance skills?
I don't know about that. So what we're debating here for those listening, the first die of the dice pool is take one light colored die if the task is something you were skilled at because of either your occupation or your background. I would say that that situationally mitigates the risk, right?
Okay,
To have her looking out. So it might lessen the kind of consequence you might face, but I don't think that it grants you this die.
okay. In that case,
Your second option for a die is you can take another light die for accepting a devil's bargain.
it feels
So if you would
so
like,
low for so low stakes for Devil's Bargain though.
well, the other option for a die is you can add a dark colored die if you're willing to risk your mind or body in order to succeed. So you
True.
can decide amongst yourself which of those dice you would rather have.
Okay, but okay, here's my problem.
Yes.
Following the fiction,
Mm-hmm.
it is more accurate to the situation to add a dark die to be willing to risk tetanus than
True.
it is for me to take a Devil's Bargain.
That is true.
Um, so that gives me one light and one dark, is that right?
No, it's no light and one dark if you don't take the devil's bargain because you're not skilled, so you don't get the light colored die.
Oh.
This system does not have any automatic dice.
Oh,
This
okay.
is not a you get one and then you get some additional ones if you're good. This is not the lasers and feelings thing of being prepared or an expert. This is you need to either be skilled or put yourself at risk to attempt a risky task at all.
Hmm. Would says these lasers don't care about your feelings.
These lasers don't care about your feelings. Um, the
Okay.
reason that the dark die matters, for context for everyone, the reason that the dark die matters is because Jack has a score here, Vera, I suppose, has a score here called Ruin, which begins at 2 because you have a ritual, which we'll get to at some point, I'm sure. Um, and if at any point in time you roll a dark colored die, and it's the highest die in your roll, it counts as what's called a ruin roll, which stands a chance to uh, increase your ruin score. And when your ruin reaches, what is it, 6? I believe, yeah, when your ruin reaches 6, that is the point at which you succumb to the forest. So, especially in a one-player game, you only get until that die reaches 6 or till that score reaches 6 to play the game as this character.
Okay.
It is not 100% a guarantee here that your ruin would go up, but by rolling only a dark colored die, that obviously increases the risk. I have devil's bargains I can offer you if you'd like to hear them. You don't have to take them.
I'll hear some, because at the moment, if I succeed, my ruin will go up.
Yes. Breaking your lock-picking tools would be one. A second one that I'm prepared to offer would be to attract the attention not of a cop or other troublemaker up here on the surface, but something a little less natural down below.
Ooh. I will break my block picking tools.
Okay, so you'll roll one light die and one dark die.
Yeah.
Let's see this roll. It's a 5 and a 2. 5 on dark, 2 on light. So on a 5, you succeed, but there's some kind of complication. I'll describe the complication and you describe how you succeed. However, your dark die is here, your highest die.
Yup.
So, if your dark die rolled higher than your current ruin, which is 2, add 1 to your ruin, and work with the GM to describe how the forest is warping your mind and body. Let me take a look at the conditions that I can give you here.
You've got a minute
I
and
have
a
the
half
perfect
of
one.
nothing to think about it, because the ads are on, so...
Oh, ads are on. Should I wait? I'll wait. I think I know what I'm going to give you here, but I can wait until ads are over to do that.
It's a good idea. Oh my god.
We love to ramp up the ruin just immediately.
Just immediately.
Just immediately. First roll.
I thought about not even taking a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, I have a really good funny story for how I would get a ritual, so I'm gonna use that.
Oh good, I can't wait to hear it.
To follow up on the lasers don't care about your feelings jokes, we also got these feelings don't care about your lasers. You have laser feelings. My feelings care about lasers. Lasers are cool and are likely to coincide with cats, which are also cool.
Damn, my feelings also care about lasers.
Yeah. Gray is being relatable as always.
If anyone else listened to the Johnny Mnemonic Watch podcast, I'm thinking about the guy with the laser wire thumb.
I haven't seen Johnny Mnemonic, so I don't know if I want to.
It's not a. I don't know that I'd say it's a good movie. I would say it's a masterpiece, and both of those can be true of the same movie.
Okay, I think ads are over now. So, what is this condition I got?
Right. So the condition you get is that as you were attempting to pick this lock, I think you maybe don't even place this as being sort of out of the ordinary at first, because what it is it's this urgent sensation, this little spike of anxiety at the center of your chest that makes you feel like you're like running late for something. You're in a rush.
Oh, yeah.
It's just constant feeling right at the center of your chest, which I think as you were picking a lock and trying to not get noticed by cops is like feels normal at first, right? It feels like an ordinary reaction.
Yeah.
Except that as you do this, it doesn't go away.
Ooh. Wind asks Christine, did you watch Johnny Mnemonic in black and white?
I haven't yet. I'd really like to. I watched Johnny Mnemonic a few years back, and I didn't know there was a black and white cut at that point, so I did watch it in full color.
Okay. Um. eh,
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
Um. So, but the door unlocks.
The door unlocks. So I will describe your complication, and you will describe how you succeed.
Yes.
Obviously, because of the devil's bargain, your lock picking tools sort of break in this lock just as you manage to get it open. And I think that the complication here. Um, have you have you brought any other tools of any kind with you? Have you brought a flashlight? Have you brought your cell phone? What have you brought with you?
I think I brought a flashlight. Not my cell phone.
Okay.
Um, I think I brought uh like I'm trying to decide if a crowbar would fit in my bag. A little one might. Uh, like a a screwdriver. I don't know. Feel like I'm the kind of person who just shoved everything I could think of that could have been useful into my bag.
Right.
Um, Plus I have like water and a couple of like snacks.
Great. Um, so as the door opens here, it's sort of like now that it's not as the door isn't really latched. The door's locked in place, but as soon as the lock is open, it swings forward. And I think that, like, in your effort to stay close enough to be sort of subtle about this, you've been sort of leaning on it. And I think you sort of lurch forward along with the door. And the edge of your backpack catches on the sort of like jagged metal at the edge of this door and rips. And your flashlight goes tumbling down this metal staircase, bang, 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 bang,
Ooh,
into the darkness.
classic.
But you have succeeded here. You've opened the door successfully. The game says describe how you succeed, but I think in this case it's probably fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I think so. I think I pretend like my flashlight did not bounce into the nether, and I stand up and I say, "Voila!" I
uh, Go ahead.
Who wants to go first?
I don't really. Oh, Darshana like leans over and looks down, like grimacing down at the staircase. I think I can take the rear guard, I suppose. And Selena says, "Ugh, fine, I'll do it." And she turns the flashlight on her phone on. And she's sort of like, she doesn't really push past you. It's not rude, but she like steps ahead of you to take the lead here.
Good,
Um,
because I don't have my
and she like
flashlight.
shines the flashlight on her phone, which is certainly not as powerful a light as your like real flashlight would have been, but is enough to sort of see a few steps down below where you are. This rickety metal staircase leading downwards. It's only about a flight down. You're at street level, and the subway is about one flight of stairs down from street level. Um, but you can't see the bottom from here, regardless of knowing that it's probably about a story.
Mm.
And she begins to set off down the staircase, and then behind you, Darshana like clicks the light on her headlamp on as well, and moves to follow down behind you. The group of you make your way down this staircase, and as you begin to descend, it's summer right now. It's quite late, but the sun hasn't quite set yet. Obviously, it gets darker and darker as you go further down, but it also gets cooler. You can feel a sort of like you can feel the temperature drop as you walk down these stairs. You get sort of just a little bit of goosebumps along your arms and the back of your neck. And there's a sort of like faint metallic kind of tapping or clanging noise as your feet hit each individual stair. And as you hit the bottom of these stairs, you can see that you are in sort of like an alcove just to the side of like a regular subway tunnel here. Um, Hard to tell which way is which now that you've sort of made your way down here. Um, but as you reach the bottom of the stairs, you can see like a small chalk marking. Wow, a chalk marking of an arrow pointing in sort of to the right of where you are down this open subway tunnel.
Okay.
I think this must be go station to 18 to 19. What was their name? 217. They said they'd leave a trail, or they'd left a trail. So this way?
Yeah. Sure.
Do you want me to keep leading the way?
Uh, yeah, you may as well.
Okay. She pulls up the camera on her phone and starts recording. She's not live streaming anymore, but she's recording this. And she's sort of like not quite whispering, but not quite talking at full volume to the camera as she sets off down this tunnel. So we've made it into the tunnel. Um, the people I'm with have asked to remain anonymous, so you're not going to get to see their faces. But as you can see, this is, I think these are the CE tunnels, if I'm correct. And Darshan from the back is like, I believe so. Yeah, they should be. We're right next to, yes, the C. Um, and you all start making your way down this tunnel. And after a few minutes, you reach a fork in the tunnel, one that goes, you can see ahead sort of up to a regular station, like a totally normal non-ghost station. There are people down there, and then one that sort of like slopes downwards and seems to go below the track that goes to the station, probably for an express train.
Uh, I guess we'll take the express tunnel. If we
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I don't wouldn't love to see people right now.
Yeah, and I think people wouldn't love to see us is also
Really
uh
fair. Really fair. Okay, let's keep going. And you walk a little bit further. You walk sort of down this slope, and it gets darker again and cooler as you move down along this tunnel track. Fortunately, no sign of any trains yet. Um, but as you get a little bit further along, and the tunnel that you're in sort of opens up just a little bit, you see about 20 or so feet ahead of you the like flickering of someone else's flashlight as they sort of like sweep it across the tunnel. There is what appears from here to be a uniformed MTA worker sweeping the tunnel ahead of you, looking to see if there's I don't know if they're looking for something specific or if they're like doing some kind of patrol or what. But there is a person ahead.
they're walking towards us or away from us.
They're walking. It's hard to tell from this distance.
Hmm.
But like perpendicular to you, sort of.
Hmm.
And you've still got this like spike of sort of like rushed anxiety in your chest,
Yeah.
sort of lingering there, like something pressing on your sternum.
Oh God. Um, have the other two like noticed and stopped or
Not yet. At least Selena hasn't. Darshan is behind you and I think probably can't see this yet.
okay. I think I say um Vicky, flashlight ahead.
Oh, okay. She turns the camera and the flashlight off and stops and says, "Shit, what should we do?"
Um is there like an alcove along this
There are.
track?
There are little alcoves sort of like every 10 feet or so. They're
Um
not huge, but you could certainly each duck into one, or, you could probably all duck into one. It would just be pretty close quarters.
Okay. Duck in, duck in. Uh, just wanna turn off your light.
She listens, she turns off her light, and you all sort of duck into this just as you hear the sort of splashing sound of someone else's footsteps in the tunnel starting to move in your direction. You're gonna have to hide as this person walks past you.
Yeah, I
Do you
think.
want to make a roll to remain hidden here?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, talk to me about your skills. Are you skilled at hiding?
I'm skilled in vigilance.
You are skilled at vigilance. Is there a way that you can color this action such that vigilance is the thing that is relevant?
Well, I think it's less a matter of like, you know, in movies and stuff,
Mhm.
where hiding is like about uh holding still and not moving and not being noticed.
Right, yeah.
I think it's a lot like that, but it's also like we have to have moved fast enough and soon enough that they weren't
Mm.
going to see us move and therefore be alerted to the fact that there's something odd here.
Right. So the vigilance is about having gotten here fast enough to hide successfully.
Yeah, having noticed the other person way
Yeah.
before they noticed us.
I buy that. Yes, I will give you a light colored die for that. You can also take another light die for accepting a devil's bargain, and you can add a dark die for risking your mind or body in order to succeed. Would you like either of those? The devil's bargain I will offer you here is that Darshana is lagging just far enough behind that she has to duck into a different alcove than the two of you.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So 2 light dice. Would you like to risk your mind or body in order to succeed?
No,
Okay.
not this
Sounds
time.
good. Go ahead and roll 2 light dice.
2 threes.
Ooh, on a 3, you fail and things get worse. The GM may also allow you to succeed, but things will get worse in some other way. Ooh, that is tempting. Hmm. Yeah. So it's not even that you were not fast enough, I think. Um, because the thing that draws this person's attention, and maybe person is not quite the right word, but we'll get to that in a moment. The thing that draws this figure's attention is not actually you, unfortunately. It is the sound of Selena's phone going off. Just the slight ding of a text message incoming. And she shouldn't have reception down here. I think she knows that. She has not been streaming because everyone knows you don't get reception in the subway tunnels unless you're in a station. But it is just enough for this message to come through. And you hear the sound of this figure turning to look in your direction and the footsteps approaching faster and faster. And then suddenly there is a bright light of someone else's flashlight directly in your eyes. And you look up, and the person standing there is not an MTA worker, or at least not anymore. They have the uniform, they look human enough, but their eyes are hollow and empty and pure black, and their jaw is hanging just slightly slack.
I Vera was already like way on edge.
Mm-hmm.
Like way on the edge. Uh and so I think she's literally just gonna like try to punch this thing in the face. Just like
Yeah,
ah.
before you do that, I want to ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
Is this disturbing?
Hmm. I think
When you
so.
witness or undergo something disturbing, make a ruin roll by rolling one dark die.
Okay.
Your ruin's currently at 3, yes?
Uh-huh.
So you would love to get under or equal to a 3 here.
This will be the world's shortest trophy dark game. Ah!
That's one success. You manage to keep it together. How do you manage to keep it together here? And is it that like panicked reaction of just lashing out immediately rather than letting yourself think, or is it something else?
I think it is. I think it's like literally just like I don't process it.
Sure.
I think I just like act and I'm like, I will process that later.
Right. We love repression. Excellent. Okay, so you are lashing out here, which
Yeah,
is of course going to be
another
a
roll.
roll. Say what you hope will happen here, and then ask me what could possibly go wrong.
How detailed can I be?
About what you hope to happen?
Yeah.
You can be pretty detailed. What I will say here is that the game is very specific about the fact that you were not equipped to kill the monsters and creatures that reside within the forest, right? So your goal should not be to like kill this thing, right?
Oh yeah, no.
But beyond that, you can be as detailed as you would like about what you hope will happen.
I would like to startle it enough that I can steal its flashlight and run away.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, are you skilled at this?
No.
I didn't give the service worker background confrontation as a skill.
Vigilance, insight, and communication.
Oh, okay. Right. Vigilance and communication. The other two possibilities there. Um, are you do you want to hear a devil's bargain?
I would like to hear a devil's bargain.
Yes. So in this case, you and Selena would be able to flee in time, but Darshana, because she is separated from the two of you, is not gonna like get the message that it is time to run, and is going to get separated further from the two of you.
No, I don't want to take that.
Okay. Are you willing to risk your mind or body in order to succeed?
Yes.
Okay, so it's one dark die that we're rolling here.
Yep.
Now remember, if this die is higher than your ruin is going to go up. And if
Yeah,
it's
I
lower than
know.
your ruin, you are going to fail.
I know. I know.
Cool, just
Uh,
checking.
but I care about that shot, which is my problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay. I don't care about Selena, who I will keep
It's
calling
almost
the
like
wrong
a
name on
oh,
purpose.
okay. So that's a 2, which means your ruin doesn't go up, is the good news. The bad news
Is
is that
it?
you fail and things
Is
get
that good
worse.
news?
That your ruin doesn't go up?
Yeah, I suppose, but
It means we get to play for longer,
yeah, true.
and you aren't going to take another condition.
Yeah.
You are, however, describe to me again the motion that you were doing here.
I see punch in the face, but I think it's
Mm-hmm.
more like I think it's less like controlled than that. I think it's like it's just a shove. And like a try to wrench the and like a last minute like try to wrench the flashlight as well, like just because I see an opportunity.
Sure. I think what happens here is that you sort of end up in like a grapple. This figure, this creature, whatever it is a little stronger than you were expecting it to be, right? You were
Hmm.
not expecting it to be particularly like agile or dexterous. And yet you end up in a sort of weird like grapple back and forth. It manages to keep its grip on the flashlight enough that you can't really like grab it out of its hand. And what happens is that in this sort of struggle, it like turns you such that you are now sort of out of the alcove and facing the tracks, and it shoves you off of it and down to the ground. And in
Hmm.
that exact moment, you hear in the distance the sound of an approaching train, and you feel the tracks start to tremble just a little bit beneath you, and you see a pinpoint of light in the distance, and this thing is bearing down on you. And I think at this point, Selena jumps out and like starts to try to attack this thing as well, so that you have a chance to get up. But you are in peril here.
Ooh. Um. Okay. Oh, I think I know what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to get up and engage with this thing again. Basically, just try to keep it at arm's length and get my back to the alcove. Until the train is closer, and then I want to try and like shove it out into the tracks and
Yeah,
sit back into the
absolutely.
alcove.
Absolutely. Are you skilled at this?
I would want to say vigilance is useful again.
I would buy that. I would buy vigilance here. Are you do you want to hear a devil's bargain? I mean, you can hear it either way. If you want to hear it, what it is leaving your backpack on the tracks. It gets stuck in the rail, and you do not have time to retrieve it and do this maneuver.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that devil's bargain.
Okay. Okay, so 2 light dice. It sounds like you are willing to risk your mind or body in order to succeed here. I think by virtue of what you were doing, it sounds like
Yeah,
you're risking your body in order to succeed.
yeah, like I feel like that's a given.
I think so. So 2 light, 1 dark.
Okay. Rolling.
That's a 5,
It's a
and it's on your dark die. So your ruin is going to go up here to 4 already?
yeah,
Is it to 4?
it's a 4.
Mm. But you are successful with a complication.
Yeah.
You lose your backpack. You manage to re-engage and to sort of like turn yourself around so that you can duck back into the alcove. I think Selena is helping a little bit here, right? Um, as this is happening, um, well, I think maybe what it is that it happens right after. So describe to me your success.
So I think I like tell the others there's a train coming and stay in the alcoves. Uh, and I sort of like I like grapple it by its shoulders so that like we're at arm's length from each other as much as possible, and I try to like keep it that way as I like back towards an alcove, maybe the same one, maybe a different one. And then just like when I can feel the train is like real close, and I'm pretty sure it'll won't be able to get back to me before it gets hit. I like give it. I pull my arms back and I give it like one more shove. Um,
And
Maybe with
you
like a
time
foot
this
as well.
shove. You time this shove perfectly as it stumbles backwards off balance and the train comes screeching past, right? Huge, loud noise, overwhelmingly loud. This terrible screech of wheels against track and this sort of rhythmic thumping, thump, 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 of the, as it goes past and just like smacks straight into this thing and it is gone.
Oof.
And the train goes past and you were hearing this thump 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 noise in your ears, pounding in your ears. And then the train is past you and the tunnel is dark again. And that constant rhythmic thumping sound that you can feel your heart beating in time with in a sort of anxious rush hasn't gone away.
Ooh.
You can barely hear over the sound in your ears as Selena looks down at her hands where she had also grappled this thing, and she goes, um, I think something might be wrong. And you look down, and her hands, just along the palms of each hand, seem to be flickering in and out of view. Like
Oh.
part of her is momentarily, every other blink, disappearing.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop you there because the ad's gonna start in 30 seconds, so that's a really good cliffhanger.
Good call, good call.
So take a moment to grab a drink of water or to whatever. Because
Or
we've
to
got
update your conditions
a
list if
couple
you're
of
me.
minutes. Oh yeah, I've got my conditions. Okay, so my first condition was anxiety. My or feeling of being in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is this beeping. Not beeping, but like boop boop boop.
Yeah, it's the like thumping sound of an approaching train in your ears.
Yeah.
The ads really do make for fun little cliffhangers in all of this.
I know! It's still saying starting soon, so hopefully it actually does. But, oh. I can't believe I have full ruin already.
It's really high.
So nobody else could act.
Mm-hmm.
There's not
That
another
is the
player
hard part of
character
doing
to
this
take
one
any.
player. Yeah, usually it splits a little more evenly.
Yeah. Okay, the ads have started. That's good. Whew. Guys, I'm scared.
I
Wind.
wouldn't be living up to my promise if you weren't.
Wind. Nobody else can act me and my diva era on stage. Grace says, all I can think is there must be some way to turn this into a ghost-flavored magical girl situation. Oh god, 2 and 4. That's terrible.
If anyone could turn their hands beginning to disappear into like a fun trendy thing, it would be this person.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She'd make the most of it.
Yeah, one of those like disability influences, but the disability is like weird magic and like
Weird ghost hands.
uh like like most people think it's a scam, but it is actually happening.
In just a brief update from Twitter, Kiwi Kwan did win the Oscar for Best
Oh,
Supporting Actor,
good.
as he should have.
Oh my god, he has googly eyes on his tie. No, that's James Hong. Incredible. On his bow tie. Dwayne is The Rock Johnson is wearing salmon pink satin.
I thought you were just gonna say Dwayne is The Rock Johnson, and I was like, yeah, he is.
Harvey Green is wearing a fucking banger outfit. I think it's like
Of course he is.
a pantsuit, but the suit jacket is like has like pleats like a dress. It's incredible, and it's like a really good pattern as well.
I'm really looking forward to seeing all of these after the game is over.
Oh yeah, I've just got a friend like sending them to me on Facebook because this is what we
Yeah.
do. Anyway, the ads are over.
Excellent.
Ugh, back to my
Shall we?
consequences.
Shall we continue? Yeah, the consequence. Her hands are disappearing. She seems freaked out. I think at this point, now that the train has passed, Darshana like peeks out of the alcove behind you all, kind of like very cautiously, and is like, "Is it safe? Can I?" And like very cautiously makes her way over to where the two of you are.
Yeah, I think it's gone.
What the fuck was that thing? And what is happening to my hands? I thought this was gonna. I don't.
It said
This
ghosts.
is.
Like
I know it
they
said
said this thing was haunted.
ghosts. I know it said ghosts, but I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it was gonna make me a ghost. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't even. Can I even hold my? She like takes her phone out of her. She's like, okay. She like can hold it despite the fact that her hands seem to be like flickering in and out of existence.
Is your phone flickering with the heads? Or is it
No,
staying
weirdly
there?
enough, it is staying there as if it's like floating on nothingness.
Oh, cool. I yeah, that's fucking weird. I'll admit that.
I I think maybe we should turn back.
You can. I'm not.
Darshana at this point steps and says, no. We can't. It's not safe for us to split up. That's obviously the most stupid thing we could do here. We have to stick together. I say we keep going.
Hell yeah. Public transport. Solidarity. Shall we?
And Selena kind of very reluctantly um, says, okay, fine, but someone else is leading the way, okay? I don't want to.
Well, my backpack got crushed, so can I borrow your flashlight?
I think Darshana, like, takes the headlamp off and passes it over to you
Thank
and
you.
says, here, take this.
I tried to take the. Is it a ghost to call it a zombie? I tried to take the zombie's flashlight, but it didn't let go, and it's probably got crushed as well.
It probably got crushed as well, yeah. I would think so.
Yeah. Alright. Let's go then.
All right, and you start continuing down this tunnel. You walk for 5-10 minutes. And every once in a while, you'll see a little one of these chalk mark arrows. And at this point, you can't even be sure. Even Darshana is not sure, like, which set of tunnels you are in, right?
Hmm.
She was very certain about that, if nothing else, when you began. And now, like, the way that these tunnels weave in and out of one another seems illogical, quite frankly. You would think that like the lines would not cross one another, right? That would seem dangerous. And yet it is if they're like it is this like tangled web or nest of tunnels coming in and out of one another. And every time you reach one of these crossing points, there's a chalk arrow to show you which way to go. Are you trusting these arrows? Are you continuing to follow them?
Um, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does my feeling of being in a rush like it when I follow the arrows?
Ooh, good question. Yes, it does.
Then yeah, I trust the arrows.
Okay. So you continue to follow these arrows. And after a few more minutes, you make your way into a sort of wider open tunnel, probably 3 tracks wide. And as you sort of step into this portion of the tunnel, there are these lights along. They're off at the moment, but you can see like it's like 5 or 6 big incandescent bulbs stacked on top of one another in like a stripe, and they're like every 5 feet or so, one of these big sets of lights. Um, I should, while I'm thinking about it, move us into Um,
Mm.
I forgot that we still had the outside pictures. Here's a nice inside train picture for us.
Horrifying.
Um, on either side of this tunnel, these lights. And it's almost as if, like, as you step into this portion of the tunnel, all of these lights come on at once, just like pulse on and then slowly pulse off. And you take one more step and they pulse on again, and then they slowly pulse off. And it seems that every step you take here, you are sort of activating these lights somehow.
Ugh.
Um, but as these lights come on, you can see that there's more than just tracks here. There are also every once in a while a backpack or pieces of trash, right? A backpack, a jacket, a shoe, some loose papers, some soda cans, unremarkable trash type things. Um, and
Like
there's sort of like
somebody's. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Like somebody's been accumulating them here on purpose?
No, more like detritus from various stations and tracks has sort of wound up here,
Okay.
right? The pieces don't seem to have relation to one another. They just happen to have ended up here. And I think, you take a few of these steps and after a minute, Darshana says, hold on, wait. And you turn to look and she's like kneeling on the ground picking up a piece of paper. And you can see from where you are, you can't make out a ton of details, but it's like a printed subway, like a pretty old-fashioned printed subway map.
Hmm.
Um,
What do you got?
this is an official subway map, but this is not the New York subway system. I mean, some of these stations are right. I mean, you can see the one is here in the six, but this is these aren't even the lines that would have been here at the time that the subway maps looked like this. And she sort of was like tracing her finger down the map and she stops and she says, I think I found our station.
Um, Show me. I'll like get up real close.
And you can see on this map exactly what she's described, right? This is what looks like a historic subway map, but all the stops are wrong and all the lines are wrong. I mean, not all of them. Some of them are,
Mm-hmm.
seem roughly where they should be. The numbers are kind of in order, right? And she is pointing to an unlabeled little dot on one of these lines. Not a line that exists. It's not the same color or number or letter as any real subway line that you've ever taken before. It's a sort of like aqua or teal kind of color. And it's, 42nd Street, 34th Street, 23rd Street, 96th, right? Streets
Mm.
that should be there. And then this one unlabeled stop, which if you came in around 96th or 103rd, you should be getting closer to at this point, if there's anything accurate here.
Okay. I believe it. Uh, I'm just gonna really quickly scan the area for another chalk mark.
Yeah, do you want to make a roll here to see if because you're in like a big open space now more than you are in like a series of tunnels, so it might take some looking.
Yeah.
I think vigilance applies here, right?
Yeah. Um, Maybe communication. I don't know how, but maybe I've like gotten a sense, or insight maybe, but like I've gotten a sense for where this person likes to leave their chalk marks. Like
Yeah, I could give insight for that for sure.
like I've got a sense for like, oh, this person always draws it on a whole brick. They don't like drawing over the mortar or whatever.
Right, sure.
Um,
Okay, so that's one light die. Do you want a devil's bargain?
um, you said vigilance. Do I only get one for having any skill?
Only one for any skill, yeah. You don't get to stack them, unfortunately.
Damn. Um,
It's a yes or no, are you skilled or not?
yeah. Um, do I'll hear a devil's bargain.
Yeah, devil's bargain is in addition to finding or not finding this chalk marking, you are going to see something else that you weren't looking for.
Oh yeah, I want that. Yeah. Okay.
Great, excellent. And are you willing to put your mind or body at risk?
No, not right now.
Okay, so 2 light dice.
4.
4, you succeed, but there's a complication. So describe how you succeed first, and then I'll describe the complication.
Um, I think I'm like quite methodical. I step forward to make the lights go, and then I like scan the nearest wall, and then I do it again. Like to keep the
Mm-hmm.
lights using those flashing lights to my advantage.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then yeah, eventually
Um,
I spot it.
you do spot it. It is sort of headed off down a track that kind of branches off from here, which looks like what it should be doing if the subway line on the map that Darshana is looking at right now is correct.
Mm.
It seems to confirm her suspicion here. Um, the first complication here, which is your devil's bargain, the other thing that you see is that you notice sort of as you're using these lights to your advantage, you notice in the kind of glow of the incandescent lights pulsing on and off that a little further down the tunnel there's another light, a different light. It's not quite the same like yellow incandescent color, but a little bluer, a little fainter. You notice that there is what seems to be like a security or a CCTV display screen up ahead,
Hmm.
that is showing the platform ahead, right? So the conductor, presumably the conductor of a train, can see, that there are people at the station ahead, can see that there's no one on the tracks, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and displayed on that, standing on the platform there, there are 4 figures. And as you take a closer look at it, you recognize the sort of like medium height, kind of stout build of one of them
Hmm.
as yourself. And once that clicks into place, you recognize the sort of like hunched, kind of anxious stance of Darshana and the sort of like willowy confidence of Selena. And the fourth figure, those 3 are standing next to each other, 1, 2, 3, all in a row. And the fourth one is standing behind Selena and is a little is flickering, right, with the grain of this TV screen.
Mm.
Some figure standing directly behind her on the screen.
Um, I want to like turn and look at Selena.
Yeah. She is now pointing her flashlight down at the map. Um, she like takes a step forward to get a look at the map that Darshana is holding, and as those pulsing lights glow again, you see where the space behind her should be illuminated by one of these lights. It is not. There is shadow.
Uh, um, she will
That was
freak.
one of your 2 complications, I will also say. Feel free to respond to this one, but there's one more on the docket here.
No, I don't think I'd want to respond to this one because I think she'll freak if I tell her. And
Fair.
I don't want. I don't want her to leave, and I don't want Joshua to leave because I don't want them to try to convince me to leave.
Sure.
or take away my headlamp.
Yeah, makes sense.
So what's that other complication?
The other complication here is that Darshana looks up after a moment and says, I think there's a shortcut. If this map is right, which I think it has to be, these two lines that she's pointing at the map now, and you can't see it from where you are, but Selena is standing behind her and sort of nodding along in agreement. If these two lines cross here, I think that if we go through the express tunnel here, we should be able to get there faster. And she points at a tunnel that is not the one that your chalk marking that you have found is pointed towards.
The the as uncredible as I would normally say a person from Reddit is, I would rather trust the real person than the ghost map.
I mean, yeah, but it looks like this will cut at least 10 minutes off our time. Which I think occurs to you is not a thing that makes sense to say. You are still traversing the same amount of space in theory, whether you're taking an express train tunnel or a regular tunnel. That's not, express trains don't go faster
They just
because
don't.
they have a shorter distance to go. They just don't stop as frequently, right? It does not make sense that they're suggesting that taking an express tunnel would be faster than taking a normal tunnel. But they seem convinced of it, and I think it occurs to you that that is strange. They're in urban planning. They should know how the express train works.
I think I'd say that. Like, that's not how an express train works. It's not a
No, but
shorter
the map.
distance.
Right, but this is all weird ghost stuff anyway, right? So we might as well try it. We don't even know that these are the right markings.
Um, I this feels like I want to make okay, I want this to be like monster of the week, so I can be like I can make a trust your gut roll, but like
Mm.
the trust your gut I'm wanting to do is like trusting the anxious feeling that's been like driving me.
You've already done that. You know which way it wants you to go.
Yeah, it definitely wants me to go the chalk way.
Yeah.
Okay. Um I think I say this is gonna sound really, really weird. But ever since I got down here, I have felt this like pull towards the station, and every time we go the way the chalk wants us to go, it it likes that. It it works, like it feels right. It doesn't feel right to go down that shortcut. That doesn't feel correct to the pull I've got.
This sounds like you're attempting a risky task
It
to
does.
persuade them. You are skilled in communication,
I
yes?
am.
So you are skilled here.
Um,
Would you like to hear a devil's bargain? Would you like to risk your mind or body in order to succeed?
I'll hear a devil's bargain.
Okay, devil's bargain here is uh that shadowed figure behind Selena is going to do something. It's going to take the opportunity of this argument, this conversation, to take an action.
Okay. I don't know if I want to take that. I don't think I want to take that. I don't like
Okay,
it.
would you like to risk your body or mind in order to succeed?
I think I am risking my mind to succeed, right? Like, I'm
Yeah?
acknowledging that I'm being acted upon by, like, an outside force.
Okay.
Um,
So one light, one dark.
yeah. Do not fucking ruin me.
It's a 2 and a 1. Your dark die is your highest. This is a ruin roll, but it's lower than your ruin, so your ruin will not go up. However, on a 1, you fail, and
Oh,
things get worse.
yep. Oh, the music. Oh.
Darshana looks up, like head snaps up at you, and says, "What do you mean you've been feeling that? You didn't think to tell us this sooner? That sounds, sorry, that sounds dangerous. How do we know that whatever is influencing you isn't leading us into some kind of a trap?"
How do we know that map's not a trap? You just found it on the
We
ground down here.
But at least I'm not acting like I'm getting psychic messages from some kind of ghost force or something. Sorry, and in this moment, Selena stands differently, head
Oh.
turning just slightly, tilting to the side as this shadow figure that's behind her steps into her. And she lifts her phone, which I think is the heaviest thing she has on her, and brings it down on Darshana's head as hard as she can.
Oh my god.
There is a sort of muffled, caught scream in Darshana's throat, and then she collapses.
Fuck. What the
And
fuck?
Selena's body steps over Darshana and towards you. What do you do?
Um, I would like to just turn and start running toward down the corridor that I think is right.
Absolutely. This is attempting a risky task. Are you skilled here? Can you sell me on vigilance for this one?
um, can I sell you on insight?
You can sell me on insight. How are you gonna sell me on insight?
Basically the same way as I did before with like noticing something is wrong real fast. Uh,
Sure.
I just
I
like
think that was how you sold me on vigilance before, but
but
close
this is
enough.
different because this is reading
Okay.
body language. This isn't being aware
Right,
of
sure.
trends.
Sure.
One of those things is vigilance and one of those things is insight, if you ask me. But like just like I notice the change in posture real quick and I realize what's about to go down and then I start running before Dashona's even crumbled.
I will give you that, yes. Would you like a devil's bargain?
Yeah, one, but I don't know what else you've got to take from me.
Um, I would say that this one is about the permanence of Darshana's fate.
Oh.
Leaving Darshana behind here in this situation virtually guarantees that they are not making it any further than this.
I think I I don't think Vera thinks about that. And I don't think
Okay.
Vera believes that she can do anything about it if she stays. So I think I'm going to take that deal's bargain.
Okay. And are you risking your mind? Are you willing to risk your mind or body in order to
I'm
succeed?
just fucking running full kilter
Yeah.
down a fucking subway tunnel, being chased by
There's
a
like strobe
possessed
lights now,
influencer.
right? It's like if as you are running, the pulsing of the lights coming on and off is having this like terrible strobe effect.
And also I'm being chased by a possessed influencer.
Yeah.
So I think that's a
The
dark
worst thing to be
guy.
chased by. I
Um,
think it is.
and I think I'm going to roll real quick because they are ads supposed to start in less than a minute.
Give us a roll.
Let's get this result before we have to go to ads. A 6.
That's a 6. You succeed. Do you get to describe how you succeed? Do you want to do it now or do you want to wait for the ad?
Um, just imagine me running for the whole ad. Just like instead of the ad, imagine this just like this character like running, there's like heavy breathing in your ears. Like oh my god.
How much time do we have on ads?
It'll be a minute and a half when they start, which is very, very soon. Possessed
Great. I'm going to use this
influencer.
opportunity to go grab some more water.
Yes, do that.
I will be right back.
Possessed influencer uses her ad break move. For real. For real, for real. Oh my god. Yes, hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate. Is everyone having fun? I'm having fun. I'm so scared, but I'm having fun. Fucking ad breaks are killing me. It's like watching TV. Oh my god, you want this video game? Yeah, it would rule. Oh, they probably are all different. Bankhead. Hyundai.
I'm back.
Hi.
Hello. The ability to just turn music on while I'm describing the result of a roll is really making me wish that I had the opportunity to do that in the unexplored places.
Oh my god.
Instead, we
Legit.
have to do it in post there.
Oh, it's powerful.
Love music.
The ad has like 15 seconds left. So,
Great. I have the sickest playlist for my heart campaign that
yes.
I play every time we play, and it rules. It's like 3 straight hours of fucking creepy ass music.
Mm.
If anyone would like a link to it, tweet at me.
Is that not a Patreon? Oh no, because it's just your
It's
home
for my
game.
home game, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Anyway, ads are supposedly over now, so
Sprinting full tilt down a dark subway, or down a light, a strobing bright subway tunnel.
yeah.
Past, I think, this expanse of light bulbs and back plunged into the darkness once again. Remind me where your ruin is at right now?
4,
Okay.
I think. I don't think I've backed another one.
I think that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Do you have any more than that you would like to describe before I pick up again of your I guess at what point do you stop? Like what causes you to decide that you can stop? Is it when you can't run anymore or is there something else that cues this for you?
I think it's either when I can't run anymore or when I can't hear the feet behind me.
Sure, yeah. I think that does at some point happen. I think that this possessed Selena has not exactly been sprinting full tilt after you. You get the feeling that it has not it has not like stopped pursuing you, but you've certainly made some distance here.
Yeah.
And as you finally slow to a stop, panting and exhausted, and just completely out of breath, um, somewhat overexerted, I would say, you find yourself face to face with another one of these chalk markers pointing you in the right direction. Um, you now only have the light of your headlamp, your borrowed headlamp.
Mine
Probably at
now.
this point yours, yeah. I don't think anyone's gonna be asking for it back. Only this light to guide you, but it's enough to make out the next chalk arrow. And as you begin to walk down this tunnel, you notice again, it's like a sense where you don't notice it at first because you're like, oh, I am hot. I am warm because I just ran. I just sprinted for like several minutes, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm hot. I'm sweating. It feels like the air around me feels humid. But you were walking now at like a reasonable pace and you were not really cooling off,
I think
which
I've
is strange because it was very cold down here before.
yeah, I think I've taken off my hoodie.
Um, and the air around you is just kind of warm and humid. And you notice as you continue to go that it is not like consistently warm and humid. Every once in a while, there's like a warm or a hot, wet breeze
Huh.
coming down the tunnel towards you. And you follow this arrow a little ways, and you follow this arrow a little ways. You come to the next arrow, and you come to a point where you see the tracks go off in separate directions. And you notice that in one direction, the tunnel seems to have collapsed, stopping any passage through, and the arrow dutifully points you in the other direction.
Uh-huh.
And then you come upon a section where the track breaks into three, and two of these tunnels are collapsed, and there's one arrow pointing you in the right direction. And this sort of hot breeze is growing more and more frequent, and you begin to realize you're hearing something, and it's so quiet you almost can't hear it. This very gentle, very quiet humming of an engine.
Like it,
Almost almost like the sound of an animal purring.
um that's not what trains sound like.
Not the ones you've experienced, no.
I guess I'll follow the sound.
You listen closely, and you realize that it's not coming from ahead of or behind you. It's almost as if you're hearing it through the wall next to you, and you put your hand up to the wall and you can feel it vibrating very gently. And as you do that, this hum, this purr gets a little bit louder, and you hear sort of faintly through the wall a slight, quiet noise, familiar. The way a subway train screeches on its tracks when it's moving, something beyond the wall is the source of this and is moving alongside you, as if keeping pace with you as you walk through this tunnel.
Oh my god, it's Toto. No, the cat bus. Um, I think I'll want to keep walking, but like leave my hand on the wall
Mm-hmm.
because I think once I notice it's moving alongside me, I think it feels kind of like a companion.
Yeah. You continue down this tunnel, and it continues to move beside you on the other side of this wall. And you come up upon another fork here, and this thing is moving to the left of you. It's through the left wall.
Hmm.
And again, one of these tunnels is collapsed, and one of them has an arrow. And the arrow is pointing you to the right. The left tunnel presumably would hook up with whatever tunnel is to the left side of this wall, whatever tunnel you were hearing this noise from. The arrow's pointing you the other direction. What do you do?
I think I hesitate for a minute, and I take my hand off the wall. What happens? Any change?
Not that you can perceive.
I'm gonna go to the arrow, I think.
Okay. You take your hand off the wall and begin to walk in the other direction. And the screech gets louder for a moment and then fades away altogether. And you continue down this tunnel. And in the distance now, this tunnel, you've been in tunnels that have been sort of winding and curving. The tunnel you were in is totally straight. It's long. It's so long, but it's straight. And in the distance, you can see light, not the light of an approaching train, but the light of another station. Almost the color, the hue, the tone of daylight. And in that moment, you begin to hear footsteps behind you again. Slow, methodical, even. And you see down the tunnel, Selena headed your way.
Uh, I think I'm gonna walk faster towards the station.
You begin to walk faster, and you hear the footsteps also pick up pace. She's not gaining on you, but she is keeping an even distance from you at this point. She's keeping pace with you.
Right. I think as long as she's not gaining on me, I'm okay with that.
Okay, you're going to keep
Not
going?
like okay, but like yeah, sure. This is happening.
This might as well happen.
Yeah. Today is already
Um,
so ghosts.
Today's already so ghosts. Speaking of ghosts, as you begin to make your way down this tunnel, the temperature drops again, um, to almost freezing. You took your hoodie off because you were too hot, and now you were shivering. And it's making it harder to walk as your sort of muscles seize up in the cold. It is making it harder to move quickly. And as you slow just a little bit at this feeling, she begins to pick up her pace again.
Uh,
What do you do?
I'm gonna try and put my hoodie back on as fast as I can, and
Okay.
then try to run.
I'm gonna need a risk roll here. Are you skilled at this?
No.
Would you like a devil's bargain?
I'll hear one.
Sorry, what was that? Yeah,
Yes,
you'll hear one?
I'll hear
Okay.
one.
So one of the devil's bargains that the book offers is attracting the attention of wild animals, forest spirits, or monstrosities. I'm not going to be more specific about what that means in this situation, but that is the one I'm going to offer you.
This day is already so ghosts. I'll take it.
Okay. And are you willing to risk your mind or body in order to succeed?
Yes.
Okay, give me one dark, one light. It's a 2 and a 3. Your ruin doesn't go up, is the good news here, but the bad news is you fail and things get worse. It is as if your feet are getting stuck in something tar or oil or something sticky along the floor of this tunnel. Or maybe it's just that you are so cold and sluggish that you cannot pick them up fast enough to begin to run. She is 10 feet behind you, and then she is 5 feet behind you, and then she is on you, and she is grabbing you by the arm and turning you around. And her eyes are hollow and black, and her jaw is slightly slack.
Jeez.
And you're wearing your hoodie now.
Yeah.
And she begins with one hand to sort of pull the sleeve up your arm as if she is trying to, like, make skin-to-skin contact with you.
Oh.
And at the same... Oh.
No, finish what you were saying, I guess.
And at the same time, you feel one more of these hot, wet breezes, and you hear a screeching and a rumbling as a train begins to approach from behind. This train, your train, and you can see it behind her. And it looks at first from afar like it has been painted red, like the front of the car has been painted red. Not a pleasant red color, a sort of brownish red. And then you realize that that is not paint. It is blood.
Ah!
Its front car, the front of this train, is stained with blood like the maw of a beast of prey. And it is bearing down on the both of you. What do you do?
I kick her, I kick her in the gut, or I try to like push her off me
Just to
without
get some
touching
distance? Is that the
her.
goal?
Yeah, I just
Okay,
don't want to touch her
give
with my
me
hands.
give me a roll. Are you skilled at this?
Don't think so.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
No. I don't.
Are you willing to risk your mind or body in order to succeed?
Do I have a choice?
Give me one dark die.
Come on, be a 4. A 5.
That's a 5, which is higher than your ruin, yes?
Yeah.
You succeed, but there's some kind of complication, and your ruin is going to rise to 5 out of 6.
Yep.
As you reach out, you kick her off of you and back, and she falls to the track. And again, it is like you feel something that in this context makes sense until it doesn't go away, which is this lurching sense of imbalance, like the ground is moving under you. You lean back and kick as hard as you can, and you are thrown off balance. But once you catch your footing, you do not regain your balance. It is like the floor is shifting unpredictably beneath your feet, stopping and starting, turning this way and that way, like you are standing in a moving train car with nothing to hold on to.
Luckily, I've done that a bunch of times because I'm from New York.
As she falls to the ground in front of you, her phone spills out of her pocket and lands screen up and on in front of you. And there is a strange moment of perfect clarity, as if time itself pauses, and you can see the screen and you can see that it is open to this subreddit that all of you met on, and you can see that she is logged in under the username Ghost Station 217.
Oh, I fucking hate this bitch.
And you can feel the hot, wet breath of this living train getting closer and closer.
Oh my god. I'm like gonna stumble back towards the station as fast as I can, I guess.
And you hear a chime. A little, happy little chime over an intercom, and then a very pleasant voice. The next train is approaching the station. And you are now close enough to the station that you can see all of these figures lined up on the platform, dozens of them on either side. And you can see above the platform the little LED signs that tell you when the next train is coming. And you can see that the train is about to arrive on the opposite platform from the tracks on which you are. And if you can get there in time, you can get on the train. But you have to get there in time.
I'm going for it.
All right. Are you skilled at this?
At running for the train?
Mm-hmm.
I want to say yes, but I don't have any backup for that other than I'm from here.
I think I'll give you that one. Do you want a devil's bargain?
I'll hear one?
Mm.
If you don't have one, that's fine.
I don't know that I have one here, yeah.
That's okay.
I think anything I can think of would be something that you would want to happen anyway, which feels like it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Are you willing to risk your mind or body in order to
Of course
succeed?
I am. This is the
Give
role,
me
right?
one dark and one light.
I have one more ruin left. This is the role. Let's go.
That's a 1 and a 2. You fail and things get worse. Your ruin does not rise, but you fail and things get worse. You run for the train, and as you step to run, Selena's body reaches out and grabs your ankle and pulls you to the ground. It's summer. Are you wearing shorts or long pants?
Long
I can't remember which one
pants.
you described. Long pants?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good, at least. Small mercies here. She pulls you to the ground. And it, like, full impact gravel digging into your hands and your knees. I think you bump your chin as you come down and you can taste blood in your mouth. And on the other side of the platform, the train approaches the station. You hear the swish of the doors opening and then closing. And then the train leaves. What do you do?
And that's not that is or there wasn't the train that was coming.
That is not the monster train. That is the ghost train.
Okay. I think Vera is kind of crying a little. Uh, and is just gonna like try to to stand up and like get up and get onto the station because there is still a train coming. What just happened to my? That was random.
I don't know. Um. All right. I don't think you need a roll to get up here.
Okay.
No, she's still got a hold on your ankle. I think this is a roll probably to get away from her and
Okay.
up onto the platform. Skill?
I don't think so this time.
Devil's bargain? I don't know that I have a devil's bargain.
No, I think this is just gonna be one dark die, right?
I think this is one dark die.
Okay. Five.
That's a 5.
Which
is equal to your current ruin, yes?
yeah.
Let me check if it's equal to or if it's greater than. If your dark die rolled higher than your current ruin, add 1 to your ruin. So it is equal to. So your ruin does not go up to 6.
Hell yeah.
You succeed, but there's a complication. The GM describes the complication, you describe how you succeed. So tell me how you succeed here.
Just desperation and adrenaline, right? It's like the train is coming. I've had my heart pounding for like 3 hours at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think my body's just like fully adrenaline based. And even though like I'm not normally that strong, I'm strong enough in that moment to like shake off Selena's hand and clamber onto the station, I guess.
All right, and you pull yourself up onto the platform the moment before this train, this bloodied, hot-breathed, purring train speeds past you and begins to slow as it enters the station. And you stand up, and there's no one on this platform. There's no one else here. And the doors swing open in front of you, and it is dark inside. Do you board the train?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You step inside. You step inside, and the doors swish shut behind you. And it is pitch black. And it is warm. And it is humid. And that anxious, racing, rushed feeling in your chest is gone. And that sense of imbalance is gone. And that sound of the train moving, ringing in your ears, matches up with the sound of this train as it pulls out of the station and down into the dark tunnel, which slopes down further and further and further. And you go wherever it is going. Congratulations, you have achieved your goal to board a train and to see where it is going. It may not have been the one you intended, but here you are.
This one's more middle anyway.
And that is Trophy Dark.
Oh my god. I'm gonna read you some choice jokes from chat.
Please do. I would love to hear them, because I have missed not being able to see them.
What if we were in a ghost tunnel and possessed influence were running around and we were both trains? Haha, just kidding, unless... Cause of death, Reddit. Um, uh, oh, wait, fuck, someone earlier said that the Techno store was very gender, and I just thought of a joke. Gender.
Oh my god.
Um, Welcome to Ghost Station, where we play to fail and find out. There was a whole
Yeah.
bit about, oh god, Vera's in Florida now. Rip Vera, no helping you now. Complication Floridian. Breaking news, New York woman finds herself in Florida via the underground train network. I was guessing Hell Train, and
Incredible.
I think that's preferable to Florida. Is Florida haunting New York? It's more likely than you think.
It's more likely than you think.
Train with big cat ears, you know, like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm walking here.
Oh my god.
Totoro villain arc. Being wow, Vera made it to Canada. Good for her. Uh,
Great work, everybody. I can't wait to watch the VOD just to read chat.
Chat was very good. I was having so much trouble not like engaging with chat, but I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm just gonna snooze the ads for 5 minutes.
I'm gonna bring us back to your beautiful image.
My Canva Pro image
Yeah,
filters.
your Canva Pro masterpiece.
Um, this is a Sagfiel character origin story. Oh yeah, we know.
Yeah. Yeah, when I said train, we both knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between Songfiel and New York City? Not much.
Oh, the Clown Train video game, Choo Choo Charlie. I've been telling Wind that I think that Christine should play this with Wind.
I know almost nothing about it, so I believe you.
It's a train adventure, but the train is also a clown spider.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You know what a train is also a clown spider?
You know what a train is also a clown spider?
That's my commute. No, that's a lie. I walk to work. I only live 4 blocks from where I work. It would be wild for me to take the train to work.
Wind has helpfully, I think it was Wind, helpfully shared your links again. But just in case anybody was late, do you want to do your re-plug yourself before we
I
end?
can replug myself. Yes. Yes, hello, I have been Christine. Thank you for coming. I am most relevantly here the host, producer, and GM of the actual play podcast, The Unexplored Places, a show about exploring weird worlds and making bold choices. If you liked this at all, you will love us on our bullshit. Please come listen. You can find the show at Twitter at unexploredcast or unexploredcast.tumblr.com. We just started a brand new season. We're 3 episodes in, so it's a great time to hop in and join us. You can also find the games that I have designed at cprevas.itch.io, and you can find me and all of my academic work at cprevas on Twitter. And I think that's everything.
Yeah, that sounds like it. You know who I am. I'm hoping to bring more TTRPGs to this channel. I just don't know when or how to do that, so stick with me. I'm working it out.
This was a great first experience in figuring it out.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Thank you again for coming on, Christine. It has been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
thank you to everyone
this.
who donated to charity to make this happen.
Yes, absolutely. So this again was achieved because folks donated, like, I think it was 500, I think this was a $500 reward.
I believe so, yeah.
For the Trans Justice Funding Project on the release weekend of Hogwarts Legacy, which we were protesting and, you know, hoping to counteract some of the badness of. by raising money for trans grassroots projects. So yeah, thank you again for donating to that. Thank you for coming along to this. And I'll be back tomorrow with The Sims. Just like normal.
And next week for Mass Effect Monday again?
Yeah. Next week we'll
Excellent.
be returning to Effect Monday. With the opening of Mass Effect 3, which will be like at least 1/3 as creepy as this was. And
Woo!
before the ad starts, I will say goodbye all. Thank you again, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.